Hello everyone, welcome back to Total Football Talk. I'm Keith and this is your 10-minute roundup. We're going to look at all the latest news and transfer news coming out of Manchester United. There's news coming out about Garth Southgate and what does he think about taking the Manchester United job. Yesterday he was talking about he didn't want it. Apparently Samuel Luckhurst, who's now the writer for the Sun newspaper, is saying something else. So we'll have a look at what's being said there. We'll have a look a bit about what's being said about Sir Jim Ratcliffe and whether he is backing or not backing Ruben Amorim. Bruno Fernandes, is he happy playing in the deeper lying role for Manchester United? We'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at Sammy Lammens, what's happening there. We'll also take a little bit of look at, apparently Glasner is ready to take the Manchester United job, which is no surprise to me, but God help him if he does. And apparently Manchester United are considering a move for another manager, Cesc Fabregas. Now, these are all the stories that are flying around at the minute. Apparently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is back in Manchester too. Maybe he's up next for his second crack at being the Manchester, third crack. I suppose he was interim, then he was manager, then he was sacked. Is he going to come back as an interim? God only knows. The way we run is so. Our Southgate and the Sun, Samuel Luckhurst. Apparently, Southgate wants 4 years to get Manchester United back to the top. That is one of the things that he said. If he was to come to the club, he would want, not necessarily clarify, but he would want that as part of his contract negotiations. That he gets 4 years to get Manchester United back into the Champions League. Laughable, absolutely laughable. 4 years. We will be so far behind. I don't even know what part of the race we would be in if we were actually trying to catch up with all the clubs that are going to be spending their multi-millions, that because they're already in the Champions League, Newcastle and Villa on top of City, Liverpool, Spurs, etc. So Gareth Southgate, don't know what he's absolutely talking a whole lot of drivel. This is a guy who relegated England from the Nations League, had a couple of unbelievable squads and couldn't get them across the line to win the World Cup. And this is someone who, his own track record has got Middlesbrough relegated, and then he got sacked after that for a poor job. So from my point of view, looking at it, I am not a Southgate inner. I am a Southgate outer, and that's even before he's joined the club. And I won't be changing my mind. God help us if he comes. He might stabilize it. Maybe he will. Maybe if you're taking a balanced view on this, maybe he would be able to stabilize the club. But is that what we need? Maybe right now some fans do think we need to stabilize the club. Maybe he would move us up the table. I actually don't even think he would. God, I dread it, and I absolutely dread it. God only knows what pathway we're going to go down if this is true. As I said, it's coming from the Sun, so take it with a pinch of salt. Now, not Bruno Fernandes, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has come out and he's also backed Ruben Amorim. He has said that this game coming up at the weekend against Sunderland is very, very important. Okay, understandable. He said that he's going to back Ruben Amorim. He wants him to see out the season. He wants to give Ruben Amorim the season to try and turn this around. Is it possible? God only knows. I really don't know if we can actually turn this around because it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And I am not Amorim out, but I'm not Amorim in. I am Amorim in the middle. And that means, really, I don't know how he turns it around. Win against Sunderland is not going to be enough. He's going to have to do a lot more than that. And are these players going to be able to bail him out of a hole? I actually don't know if they are. I don't think they're capable. I don't think we have a top 4 team. I'm not even sure we've got a top 6 team. So I dread to think, worst case scenario, I've got a bad feeling that we're going to get at least a draw. We might even get beat at the weekend. Sunderland like to play on the break, or as they say, in transition, and that is our weak spot, especially if we're going to start off with Harry Maguire in defence. God help us. It'll be another Brentford. They'll break, Sunderland will break, we'll score, we'll be chasing the game. God only knows where that'll lead. So unless we go ahead, we're in trouble. We go behind, I probably expect us to get beat again, and maybe that will be the end of Ruben Amorim, because Jim Ratcliffe has said this game is vitally important. Now, it can't be vitally important and then and lose it and then just say it's fine for Ruben Amorim to carry on if we are struggling and Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to get to the end of the season before actually making the change. I don't know. I'm just beyond frustrated with it. It's farcical. Okay, that's where we are with Sir Jim. Sir Jim's prepared to wait, but I think the Sunderland game is going to be quite telling. And then Liverpool after that, God only knows what will happen in that game. Now, apparently Bruno Fernandes is unhappy playing in the deeper lying role. This was coming from Ben Jacobs yesterday on the United stand. Bruno isn't happy about playing deep. The players are apparently still with Ruben Amorim, but they are struggling to understand the systems and maybe not so much the formation, but maybe the systems that he's looking to play. Are these players intelligent enough? I think yes, Ruben Amorim has made changes and he has made a lot of mistakes and he has moved a lot of players around. Granted, that is maybe difficult on the players to wrap their head around to get consistency. I get it. But Ruben Amorim, this is a failure for me. He's playing Bruno Fernandes far too deep. Bruno Fernandes is a 10. He needs to be moved up that field, and we need to find a way to get him, Sesko. We can't fit them all in. Oh, excuse me, guys. Really hard. A really, really tough couple of days. Anyway, I have no idea where this is going to end up, but I do think Ruben Amorim, if he does get sacked, he's going to fall on the sword of Bruno and playing him in the midfield because it just hasn't worked. Failed. And Bruno is a much better 10 than he is an 8 or a 6. But yeah, we are going to struggle on that one. So apparently this is what was being said about Samuel Lammens. Lammens, once he's fully up to speed, he will move ahead behind it. Whether that happens against Sunderland after the break remains uncertain, and that was coming from Ben Jacobs. Now, for me, I would get Lammens in. Sunderland's a home game. It's not one of the big boys. It's a promoted team, and I think that Lammens should be putting in. He needs to get his chance, and he needs to grab it with both hands and make it happen, and just stick with it because we cannot be doing with any more blunders from Beinda, and obviously Onana's gone. So Simon Lammens is now kind of his head's an excellent chopping block, and I just hope he finds a way to not get it chopped off. I hope he finds a way to get through a couple of games steady without any mistakes. Yeah, if a goal beats him, that's impossible to save. Fine, but he's got to be mistake free, and that's a lot of pressure on the lad already. But this is Manchester United. He's got to find a way to be able to deal with it, and we've got to be able to find a way to get past Sunderland. And if we don't, then God help us for the rest of the season, because I don't know how anyone turns this round, and I get absolutely, just the worry goes through the absolute roof. And this is what Glasner was saying. Glasner has been offered a new contract this summer, but he has yet to sign the extension. Multiple sources have said that he'd be on for the Manchester United job. And his successful 3-4-3 is similar to Amorim's Sporting. Well, I mean, is it really? If you break it down, Steve Howson has done a very good breakdown on this. It's slightly different. I'm not going to go into it. Steve Howson's done a brilliant job breaking that down. I'd advise you to go and check out his channel on that one. But Glasner's got the players to play the system that he wants, and those players do what he asks of him, and that's the reason why they're quite successful. We have players who are playing all over the place, who don't want to play in the system, who aren't fit for the system. And I think if Glasner came in, there might be a slight upturn in results. He plays a lot of defensive football and he plays on the transition. We would be in trouble if that was the case, because we need to be on the front foot, and fans might like it for a while, but I think fans would eventually turn on it, and then we would be back to square one. And that's probably where we're going to go. We're probably going to could potentially get an interim, then we could potentially get Glasner, and in 18 months' time, we could be right back in this position, talking the same old nonsense, with the managers being the issue when they're not. For me, they're not the issue. The club's the issue. There's a massive problem with inside the club, starting at the very top. They all need to go, but they're not going to. So massive problems everywhere. Manchester United are considering, says Fabregas, as a replacement for Ruben Amorim, and they've added him to his shortlist. Fabregas is admired for his modern style of play, and he's earned respect for developing young players. I mean, we just keep hearing this. Amorim was a up-and-coming manager who developed young players. Amorim hasn't had a chance to develop young players because we can't bring them into the squad, because they'll just get swallowed up by all the pressure and all the nonsense surrounding the club at the minute. And I don't actually know where we get back to the place where we start bringing youngsters back into the team to give them opportunities. Maybe you do bring them in, and maybe they make a telling show. Oh, excuse me. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're absolutely, maybe they just get absolutely slaughtered in the press. They get slaughtered by the team. You've already seen Bruno having a go at Yoro. Yoro's a young player, okay, maybe didn't come through the academy, still a teenager, but Bruno came out and sort of gave him a bit of a dressing down, and absolutely, I'm not happy with that. So Are we going to bring more players in? Are we going to destroy more careers? I mean, we've destroyed enough careers as it is. Are we going to we're going to add fuel to the fire? Going to throw more of these kids on the fire and let's see what happens? Yeah, so I don't know. And then finally, apparently Ben Jacobs had said that Manchester United are still looking for a goalkeeper, and apparently another one will arrive. Well, I suppose that for me would be because Bienda's got to leave. Sammy Lammens has got to, try and cement his place. Maybe he will have some competition from a better goalkeeper or from a newer goalkeeper or maybe slightly more experienced goalkeeper. Maybe that will be the case, so we'll have to see what happens there. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed the content, please hit the old thumbs up button. Please hit the like button or whatever, and please subscribe. Get your thoughts in below and anything I've talked about. What do you think about all of this stuff? What do you think about Southgate? What do you think about Bruno Fernandes and the deeper role? Sammy Lammens, should he start at the weekend? Any thoughts you have, get them in below. Subscribe to the channel. Massively helps me out. And yeah, we shall leave it there until tomorrow. God help us. It's Sunderland. We must win. I have no idea what's coming. I don't know if any other United fan does either, but let's pray.